Welcome back. Oh, this week we're slapping into the AU again. I'm gonna get that naughty little dent on the side, smack that out. And also, I found a little bit of rust in the door jambs. I'm gonna cut that out and take you through on how to do that, how to weld it, how to prep it, all that sort of shit. Here it is here. Look at that. See right through it. So I've fixed it right up. So sit back, grab a cuppa, a beer, a cup of milk, whatever, and enjoy. But this big dent here, need to sort that out. So I've pulled everything off on the inside and I can just sort of see the back of it now. So yeah, it looks like that's probably gonna come, I reckon. Not bad. So it popped out pretty easy, so I might have a bit more of a play with that. Alright, so I just went and got a bit of a selection of hammers and whatnot to give a bit of a flirt with that thing. See, when this is hit there, that's actually pushed this out. So I think if I give this, as I'm hitting this in, this is coming out. See that? So that still has. So I'm going to give this one a little go now. So this is just a little custom tool I've actually made up at some stage. So it's just a bit of round bar onto a bit of flat. But I think if I get that sort of in there, and give that a hit, it should. Alright, so I gave it a bit more of a slap around, sort of flattened it out a bit more. It's still not perfect. I threw a bit of the touch-up paint that we were fucking around on the front bar with. And I think for now, just till we get rego and start doing all the bodywork majorly, it's, you know, it's acceptable for an old nugget. This door's still got a very big crease in it, but at least now it's not standing out, this massive line across the whole door, then a dent in there and no more line. So I think that's looking a bit better now. Just neaten it up a little bit, but I found a little bit of rust. So I'll take you around the other side of the car. If you look here, there's a little bit of rust in this panel. So this is the pillar, and then this panel here is like a little fill-in. So that pillar will be the same as like a sedan, wagon, any sort of Falcon. Whereas this bit here is a little fill-in panel to turn it into the ute. So at the bottom of this panel here, we've got a rust hole. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to pick apart and find if there's a ute there with this bit that's not rusted, and I'll cut it out. So that way I can get a bit of a look in there to see what's going on, and then I'll have a patch panel. Not that that's an overly difficult panel to make, but I think it's just going to be easier to do it that way. Alright, just to pick apart, trying to find a patch panel for the AU. So fucking cringe filming in public, but what? Has to be done. So if you're not already, like and subscribe, because I'm making a fool of myself for you guys. But, so we're just looking through, trying to find one that's not rusty, so I can cut the door jamb out for my one. There's one up here, looks not too bad, so I reckon I'll get cutting on this one. Oh no, it wasn't this one. It's this one up here. So let's go get it. I just did a full lap to see if there's any red ones, because that'll make it easier. But the candidate is blue. This one here, so mine's got rust there, so just gonna pop this out, get my finger in there, see if I can feel any rust. No, it feels alright. So I'm just gonna cut it like, cut it bigger. Oh, there's a bit of a dent there, that's alright. I only need this little bit, but I'll just cut it a bit bigger and then take the bit I need. scratched a little bit that I'm gonna need. So I'll see if I can get another one better. All right, and it absolutely started pissing down at pick apart. So I did a quick run around, but most of them are actually rusty as well, so the same as mine. So it must be a common issue. I got lucky with this one. So it has got that little nick in it, but I'll be able to repair it. Unpick this panel off here. That's probably the first step, so I can see how it all works. Right, so you can either drill the spot welds with a special drill bit, or what I'm gonna do is just get the belt sander and just give them a sand on top there, just to remove it. But whenever you're doing this sort of shit, remember which panel you're trying to save. Like this, I'm getting rid of. This is the panel we want good, so I wanna get the spot welds out of here, and I'm gonna do them from the back on this one, even though I will have to drill it to plug weld it. I'm just gonna do that for now to keep this little panel good. But if you can't see the spot welds too easy, you can always just get a bit of sandpaper, give it a little hit. Whew. Yeah, now you can sort of see them where they are, they're quite prominent. You can't really see it with the camera. There is like a slight little hairline fracture around there, so that's actually through the spot weld. So that in the middle bit is the original metal. So I'll get all these done, then we'll come back. All right, so I've drilled all these out, or not drilled them, sanded them all out. So now I'm just gonna start separating the panels. I like to use this little hammer, it's just like doo-doo-doo. You're not gonna fucking smash it into a million bits of this thing. This thing's like very light. I think it's like a little jeweler's hammer, but it's good for not wrecking things. So you can take your time and just not smash the shit out of it and destroy everything. There you go, first one broke. Second one. There you go. So they're all broken now. Seems to be, oh, that doesn't matter because I'm gonna snap that one off because we're not using that panel. All right, we'll remove this banger. All right, so now we're on to, that's the panel we need. So I'm just gonna do the same again with these two, and should be happy motoring. Fairly confident I have got a piece of metal in my eye, because when I did the last ones I didn't squint enough, so these ones I'm going to give it the real good squint. So by squinting you actually dramatically reduce the surface area that's available to get metal in it. So you know, like, go from that to that, just the likelihood of getting something in there just plummets. Voila. So there we have it. That is the piece we need. The patch panel has got a little bit of a mark there from myself. Getting a bit trigger happy with the old saber saw. So I'll clean this up, give it a bit of a tap around, clean it up, and then we'll see how much of it we need to put into the red rocket. You can see there's been a little bit of rust forming at the back here, but it's probably got something to do with this foamy shit that's stuck to it. Alright, so I have the panel out. I've sort of cleaned it up a little bit. So that panel there is, that there goes in the middle. Oh no, not in the middle, at the bottom. So we only need sort of the bottom bit. So as you can see, that first spot weld's here. So we actually don't need to even get involved in any spot welds on this, on the pillar. So we'll probably just go across here, across there. So there's only, I think maybe 1 or 2 spot welds on there I'll have to unpick. Cut through there. I'm probably going to have to sacrifice a bit of this panel, cut through there, then I can hopefully just get that out. I'm going to have to take the side skirt off, which is actually concerning me because it's been on there for like 20 something years, and I just feel like it's made of plastic. It's 20 something years old, it's never been off. Generally what that means is that it's going to snap in half when you're trying to get it off, but it's got to come off. I can't weld near it, it just melts. So that's probably the next point of call, is we'll get this bit off, get that rubber off, and the side skirt off. On the ground now, so I think first point of call is I'm going to pull this seat out and pull the interior bits out like I did on the other side, so I can get to the back of the panel and just get a bit of an eyeball and see what's going on. There's actually nothing electrical holding this thing in, so I lied, it actually was one wire, so this is like the for the seatbelt buckle, like the detonator thing. So I'll pull this shit out again and get a bit of an eyeball from the back. Cut along the inside, you can see it popping through here. So now I'm just going to continue on the cut. Alright, so I've got my little baby hammer again. Got a little chisel here. So it should. There's a little bit holding it on, so I'll just give it the... Alright, it's off. Because there's a little bit, this bit here on the bottom, so this panel's going to have to go in. So I'll get that out from inside the... There we have it. There's our patch panel. So there's our rust issue, which is happening between this seam, these two panels. So there's... Mind the hole, I accidentally ground in it. But that's what we got there. So I'm going to cut that to the same size. It looks like it's quite pitted in there, but should be right. I'll just give it a brush out. So I'm going to cut this one to the same size. Then I'll slip that in from the back. Couple of plug welds, bang bang. Weld it along there. Easy as that. But in all seriousness, see how that just came out perfectly. So the best thing you can do if you're doing stuff like this is just don't just go nuts cutting it. Like, don't just go crazy, like, tack it with the grinder, cutting it out, because, yeah, a little bit of planning, do it slowly, and that's just popped out without causing much other damage. So, just take it easy, and just, it's going to take ages, regardless of whether you rush it or go slow. Doing rust repairs is like a slow job. So, just take your time, do little cuts, little bits, like, I was using the Dremel to cut it. Like, normally you just grind up, bang, smash it out, but I took my time and I haven't caused much more damage to the rest of the car. So just take it easy. Alright, I'm going to get the wire wheel in here, start cleaning this up, cut the other panel, repair the other panel, and stick it in. Alright, so I've got the wire wheel, got all the rust off, all the flakies down to bare metal again. Now I've just sprayed it with a weld through primer. Even though I'm not actually going to be welding on that panel, it's only going to be welded along here. But I just thought I'll put some primer on there to seal it. Might as well do weld through just in case. I've done the same on the inside, sort of cleaned it right up and put the primer on there. So while that dries, I'm just going to get these two and cut the blue one to size. Alright, so I've got it all cut up and fired up. So let's slip it in and see if it's close or miles away. Pretty good fit. Need to work it around a little bit, but bang bang bang. Couple little bit of tapping, bit of welding, should be looking brand new. So now the next job is get that panel all cleaned up, fill that little gap that I fucking hit it, pick apart with the saw, and whack it in. And by whack I mean weld, ripper. Alright, so my panel is all primed up with a weld through primer. I've got some sort of fireproof sheets just hanging over just so I don't throw sparks on the interior and fuck it or anywhere sort of thing. And yeah, it's all sort of like taped up, ready to go. So I'm going to slip that in, got the earth on, start welding it. Don't want to get a whole heap of heat in there, just a little bit. Just tack, 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 tack. Welded up, get a bit of a, yeah, as you saw that video, grinding it, sanding, welding, grinding, sanding, just trying to clean it up, get it looking good. But here is the finished product. So I think that looks pretty good. Just need to get some seam sealer under there, get a little bit of primer on it, and she's hot to trot. Alright, so I just got myself a little box of goodies to finish off this little repair. I've got some seam sealer. I just went with that, like a tub like that, instead of buying a tube that I'm only going to use a little bit of. Got some primer to cover that up. Got an aerosol made up of the actual colour, and just some tape and some bit of sandpaper and that. So now I'm just going to give it a light sand, seam seal inside and outside. Alright, so I've got it all taped up, I've primed it, rubbed it back, cleaned it. So now I'm going to try and spray it, sort of blend it a little bit. Not too sure what I'm doing, so it's either going to be good or bad. Alright, that's good, I reckon. I can leave that. Do I take the tape off wet? Do I take the tape off while it's wet or when it's dry? Do I take tape off wet or dry when painting a car?
According to Scotch painter's tape, wait until the paint is dry to the touch before removing the tape. Check the paint can for the manufacturer's dry times. Use a putty knife or razor blade to score along the edge of the tape. This prevents paint from being pulled up with the tape and from cracking along the paint line.
Thanks. Oh, we'll do that then. Alright, so it's been a couple of hours now. It looks pretty damn good. I think with a bit of a cut and polish, like you can kind of see a line just over here, and I've sort of blended it over there. I'm pretty happy with that, because that's no filler or anything like that. It's literally just metal finish, I suppose, as they call it. So no bog in there, but it looks pretty good. So, and that wasn't super duper hard. Like that, maybe that whole repair from start to finish, you're looking at maybe 4 or 5 hours. So, I mean, it wasn't the quickest thing ever, but like I said before, it takes time. So whether you rush it, it might have been 3.5, and it would have been shit. So you just got to take your time, and it'll come up well. Now I've just got to treat all this stuff, knock it back, and there's no holes there, so I'll just, rust convert or whatever, and then stick the skirt back on. Thanks for watching, guys. If you could like and subscribe, that would be shit hot, and I'll see you on the next one. Yeehaw!